Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Black Clover. Last time around, what was it called? See, this is a problem because now I don't know what the titles are because they don't show them on this site. I'm on a third site now to watch Black Clover, but they don't have episode titles. They just have the episode numbers. So what was the last episode? It was Bad Blood. That's right, we got the new OP and everything. Yeah, so, Klaus and Luck and their teammate fought and won, and then Noel faced Solid and beat him. Yuno fought Alec-Dora and beat him without using Bell at all, and they won. They proved themselves to be important and cool and powerful and dope and stuff. So yeah. That's pretty much where we left off. I think that might have also been the end of round 1. I think we're moving on to round 2, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. I don't know. Should we just get going and see if I'm mistaken or not? I guess so. So, like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Black Clover. Here we go. The square hole! It works! It's so amazing. In like 10 minutes, they just dug a hole. That's so great. It's so stupid, it's so simple, and they'll never be able to use this again. But what a clever thing. That said, what if they could use it again? What if, that's how they beat Langris? Is he just falls in a fucking hole? Oh, that'd be so funny. The square hole claims another victim. Well, it's not a very action-heavy episode. It's more of the talking episode where we gotta settle some things, you know? You gotta settle some things with Zerks, We can't keep having this whole, well, we're not actually teammates, I'm just gonna set my traps and stuff, so. It is interesting because it's his magic does actually work. Like he said, he pulled an all-nighter setting those traps up, pouring enough mana into them for them to be powerful enough, but, and then Asta just goes in and deletes them all. But at the same time, now they can work together, they're fighting fair. So, we definitely need to see more of his backstory. So, dang it, what did they say his name was? Hold on, I remember. Zora. That was it. His actual name is Zora. But, his father was in the Purple Orcas, which is interesting. So, I mean, I don't know. We don't know much about the backstory, just that he had a father who spoke very highly of the Magic Knights. If I were to guess, his father must have died tragically in a battle, and so he resents the Magic Knights. Maybe he specifically resents nobility? Because, I mean, just going off of that, maybe they weren't very well-to-do, So, maybe that's it. Maybe it was a prejudiced attack by some nobles. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, because if that is how that plays out, that'll be interesting then. It's interesting having that with this because, Kirsch, well, he's more than noble. He's royalty specifically. But then, if we go on to the next round and we do face Langris, then I don't know. See, I'm waiting for a moment. I'm hoping we talk about unfortunately we're expecting Finral to lose, But I'm hoping that him losing to Langris pumps up Asta's team to defeat him, I want, and maybe that's could be a thing of Zerx or Zora, kind of looking at this being like, motherfucker. Even if, Finral technically is nobility too. It's just like, this motherfucker. We're gonna beat the shit out of him. So. And I mean, just the fact that, like, Kirsch is like, here's why you lost. It's like in the first match, in the first round, like, they were so good. Like, he was helping them. Like, they decimated the other team, But as soon as he hears that Magna is a peasant, he runs off. I'll do this myself. I can't be seen with the filthy. And it's just like, get fucked. This entire arc is just watching nobles getting fucked, Nobles and royalty, Granted, two of our people are royalty, because we've got Noelle and Mimosa, but still. I mean, that's the thing. We kind of joke about, like, it's time for the French Revolution up in here. Let's just down with the nobility and stuff, because they're all just a bunch of jackasses. And I'm like, except specifically Noelle and Mimosa, like, we keep them. So, which is not very French. So. But yeah. I feel like it should also be a talking point that, although maybe it's for I don't know. I feel like it should be a talking point that Mimosa is in Golden Dawn, but Kirsch is in whatever the hell, what was it, the Pink Butterflies, I think? So it's just like, are you not strong enough? Like, but from this battle, it's like, I guess it's just a thing, maybe he wanted to go to the Pink Butterflies, he didn't want to go to Golden Dawn, So, I don't know. I feel like that should be a talking point, but it's not, so it probably doesn't really matter, but I don't know. Oh, good grief. But the square hole. I know I'm calling it a square hole. The hole here is specifically a round hole. We keep talking about holes today. We're Shia LaBeouf, but it's because there's a YouTube Let's Play series recently, which is a terrible way of describing it, really, but there's a series recently from a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers. Not the bad ones, I mean the good Minecraft YouTubers. They do exist, if you're not aware, they do exist. But one of the like traps that one of the teams set up was literally just a giant fucking hole, and you would just walk over it, and the floor would just drop out, and you just fall to your death. And that was surprisingly effective. And so it became known as the square hole. And so that's why I'm talking about it so much here. Because it's so funny that just worked. That it's just like, oh no, there was no mana used there. There was no magic. There was no magic used in that trap in order to dig the hole and everything. They just dug a deep hole really quickly. And so Kirsch fell for it. He literally fell into it. And that's how they were able to beat him. Nobody expects them to just dig a hole, Something so simple yet so effective. But playing on him, because, I guess you could have just done that. They could have just done that, but the fact that, that ties into Zerx's trap powers, so I guess, because we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff. We talked about Mirror Force and Magic Cylinder the first time he used his powers. For this, it would be, well, either Trap Hole or Bottomless Trap Hole. Probably more Trap Hole, because, he's not, he didn't get banished, but either or, I guess. So, Trap Hole or Bottomless Trap Hole. There's a whole, we're saying hole so much, but there's an entire archetype called Trap Tricks, which is actually dedicated to hole trap cards, HOLE. And so they use like Trap Hole, Bottomless Trap Hole, and a bunch of other hole trap cards, normal trap specifically. So, but I mean, Bottomless was probably more used. Like, I mean, Trap Hole was used, but then Bottomless became more of a staple. Not really used nowadays, I don't think. Mainly just because, trap cards have really, gone out of favor for a long time. They've been out of favor for a while, but, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, they're just too slow to work. But I would say this is more like Bottomless Trap Hole, so... as for his other stuff, I mean, so there was the snare. You walk into it and it ties you up. That's more Spellbinding Circle, which again nobody really used that much. Although I'm sure there were some back in the old days who used that. What were the other two? Well, then there was one that like attacks you as it basically just hits you. So that's not really like Mirror Force, because Mirror Force and Magic Cylinder are both, you attack into it and then it throws your attack back, basically. So for that one, I would say probably Ring of Destruction's not really apt, because Ring of Destruction would damage both of the players, so I wouldn't really say that. What's a good trap card that just blows that shit up? Just a destruction trap card? Why can't I think of one? Well, I mean, I guess Trap Hole. Trap Hole destroys, whereas Bottomless Trap Hole banishes. So, maybe I could look up. There's one I'm specifically missing, I feel like. I mean, to an extent, I would say Compulse, even though Compulsory Evacuation Device does not... I know we're talking so much about Yu-Gi-Oh, but I'm just trying to give you my street cred, my Yu-Gi-Oh street cred, basically. So, yeah, destroy, target and destroy, target that monster, destroy that target is Trap Hole. Although, the whole thing of when your opponent normal or flip summons a monster with 1,000 or more attack, I'm sure that's a later errata. So, destroys your opponent's monster cards. I'm on Yugipedia right now, so let me look for a sec. I know, this is such an interesting conversation for anyone who doesn't play Yu-Gi-Oh! And knows nothing of what the hell I'm talking about, but... Oh, that's what I was thinking of. I guess I'm thinking of Sakuretsu Armor. Yeah. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, target the attacking monster, destroy that target. Yeah, I guess Sakuretsu Armor would probably be the closest to that. And that was used back in the day. Solemn Strike I also thought about, but that's also sort of a negation. When a monster would be special summon or a monster effect is activated, pay 1,500 life points, negate the summoner activation. If you do, destroy that card. So yeah, but yeah, Sakuretsu Armor is probably closer to what we're going for with this, and obviously Trap Hole. Yeah, Trap Hole would also be apt. It's just that we're literally talking about holes and then just one that just explodes. So yeah. So do I count? Do I count? Can you tell I play Yu-Gi-Oh? So, I try to get into other card games and it's very difficult. I do play Pokemon though. At least I played Pokemon TCG Pocket, trying to get into the actual Pokemon card game, which I know Pokemon TCG has scalper problems, but it's honestly it's pretty easy to stay away from that. So, anyhow. Yeah. I'm sorry if, by the way, I just took up way too much of the discussion talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And square holes, but I don't know. I feel like we covered this episode. We went off a little bit about Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I'll try to minimize that for future episodes, so that's my bad. Sorry. But, yeah. I'd say that's basically it. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Black Clover reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.